Hey guys, so this is a pre-intro. I am adding this way after the fact. This is like the 10th edit I have done. YouTube keeps blocking my video. I keep editing the stuff it says is a problem, and it keeps finding new problems. Each one of these little red lines, like you can see here's one here, and these purple spaces, are edits I've had to do since the final edit. So this is why it's taking so long to get this video up. But I'm going to keep fighting. Sooner or later, it will be up. So, the enemy is hard at work, trying to stop me from putting this message up. This message goes along with many other messages that I've been sharing lately. And all these things are tied together in this one movie. So this is an important piece of the puzzle. And the enemy is hard at work making sure that I cannot share it with you. But the Lord is also hard at work. And that's who I work for. And I will not give up. And so I'm adding this to the beginning so you will understand the importance of this video and how it ties in to the other ones. So please watch this video to the end because it ties a lot of information I've been sharing together, plus a lot of new stuff. So thank you for your patience and enjoy the video. And as always, all glory goes to God. Hey guys. Have I got a video for you? And before I start, please forgive the sound in the background if you can hear it. It is pouring here. So, my apologies if it muffles the sound at all, but I don't think it's going to. So, where to begin? I guess I should start by telling you that I sat down to make this video over 9 months ago. I sat down, watched this movie, and took a couple pages of notes. And I wanted to make it because there's a lot of mind-blowing revelations in it. However, I just put it in my file folder on my desk and never made it. And I would look at it from time to time and say to myself, I gotta make this video. But I never felt compelled by the Lord to make it. That was until I finished making these videos. The Demons in Our Technology video, which is all about how our technology, our smartphones, our computers, are devices that harness demonic powers, demonic spirits. This is how these devices function and operate, only we call it technology, but really it's spirituality. This video, Graphene OS, which I further expound on how it is the Nephilim, which is the disembodied spirits, the demons, that inhabit our technology and lead us into spiritual possession. High-tech spiritual possession. This video I uncovered a lot of hidden things that show us that this is what's coming. This is how they're going to take over the human spirit because technology is spiritual warfare. We just don't know it. Well, some of us don't know it. Unless the Lord wakes you up to it, then you can't know it or accept it. Yeshua is Metatron and not Jesus. Okay, all these videos I had to make in order to understand the Golden Compass even better. What is the Matrix? This is an old one. But all these videos go hand in hand, and if you haven't watched them, I would suggest that you do. It took me to make all these videos and gain the revelation of all these videos in order to gain a fuller understanding and revelation of this movie. Now, this movie is based on a book series. There are 3 books in a book series called His Dark Materials. The Golden Compass would be the 2nd book in that series. Now, I watched this movie, and as I told you, I took a couple pages of notes, but I rewatched it and got further revelations because now I was awake to many other things. I also found out that there was a series on Amazon called His Dark Materials, which covered all 3 books. Now, I watched that series, and what that did was fill in a lot of the blanks that the movie did not answer. So today, I am going to bring you a full presentation and disclosure about the Golden Compass, His Dark Materials, and how it tells us exactly what they are doing to us and how they are going to take our spirits through demon possession. So you're not going to want to miss this one. So without further ado, let's get started. As we get closer to the end, the truth will become more and more precious, and the people that hold it will have a great responsibility because the world will reject what they have to say, persecute, hunt them down, and kill them. These truths are hard, and it takes a certain kind of person led by God to bring these truths to the surface. So choose you this day whom ye will serve. As for me and my house, we will serve the Lord. Welcome.
In the beginning, man was given the gift of dust. It ignited his mind and freed his will. But that free will has corrupted mankind. Dust shall be drawn into eternal darkness once more. That which was given shall be taken away.
There are many Earths, parallel to each other. Worlds like yours, where people's souls live inside their bodies. And worlds like mine has animal spirits we call demons.
So, let me give us all some context to go along with what we're going to be seeing. Few things that I want to make known so that while you're watching, you will gain this understanding. Their spirits are on the outside of their bodies and go with them everywhere. They are called their demons. Not only is it called their demons, but everybody's demon is the opposite sex. So if you are a man, you will have a female demon. If you are a female, you will have a male demon. This speaks about the transgender movement and the confusion that is going on by demon possession. Not only that, but these people carry their spirits on the outside of their body everywhere they go. Here in our world, as I have shown you, that the demons are in our technology. And here you see humanity walking around with their demons everywhere they go. Now try to look at all this stuff spiritually and not physically. The phones represent the animals, okay? The animals in the movie are demonic spirits. Our phones are demonic spirits, and we take them with us everywhere. And the godless are being sucked into the matrix by these demons who they are dedicating their lives to. Just go anywhere and you will see this scene which you see now on the screen.
Are we going to see the child?
I should think so.
So many worlds, but connecting them all is dust. Dust was here before the witches of the air, the Egyptians of the water, and the bears of the ice.
Before I continue, I want to just cover that the Egyptians are the Egyptians. The witches are obviously witches, but the ice bears are the kingdom of God, okay? They are of the north, okay? This is where God's kingdom is. And as you will see, one of the bears that helps this little Nephilim girl is Lucifer. But we'll get to all that. And I will tell you right now that the dust of which this narrator is speaking of is original sin. This is the forbidden knowledge that flows from the dark kingdom. Next, you're going to see the golden compass. It's called the alethiometer. Pay close attention to the symbols that it stops on.
In my world, scholars invented an alethiometer, a golden compass.
Serpent.
A golden compass.
Serpent.
And it showed them all that was hidden.
The woman.
That was hidden.
The woman.
But the ruling power destroyed these devices. One compass remains, however.
And a baby.
And only one who can read it.
So, the serpent is going after the seed of the woman, the fruit of the womb. This is why they want to get this new medicine in you, this nanotech, this mRNA, because it will be passed down to the children through the DNA. It will be hereditary.
Lord Asriel?
Morning, Hunt.
Well, the Master will be relieved to hear you've arrived safely.
Sure he will.
Lord Asriel. Okay? Asriel is the angel of death. Keep that in mind all throughout this video.
Kingdom of the Ice Bears.
Lord Asriel, is that light rising up from the man's body?
No, that's coming down from the sky, but that's not light. It's dust.
So dust is coming down from the city in the sky into the demon and then into the human. And what you will find out later is that dust is the original sin, the knowledge of good and evil.
Dust is flowing into this man through his demon, from a city in another world, parallel universe, inaccessible till now. From there, dust flows. Somewhere, men have no demons, and even some no authority. That is heresy. That is the truth. I intend to travel to these worlds. A sufficient source of energy, I can effect a crossing.
So, as he said, that the dust is flowing from this kingdom. Now, I'm going to play you a clip from this Amazon series, which further delves into the dust. And just keep in mind that this knowledge, this forbidden knowledge, the original sin, is flowing in to the demon. And from the demon, it's flowing in to the human. Okay, this is flowing in to our eye gates. Now, he wants to cross into these other worlds. And he said if he had an energy source sufficient enough that he could effect a crossing. Okay, this is what CERN's doing. High energy particle smashing, opening gateways to other dimensions. Okay, this is how this has happened. CERN admits, and so you will also hear in the video, What is the Matrix? They admit that they are being spoken to from another dimension. This other dimension is telling them how to create these machines so that they can be let free. I'm sure that the dark spirits are promising mankind power and knowledge, but what they're really doing is convincing people to build a machine that will free them from their prison. This is Azrael. He is the angel of death. So understand that this is who is trying to cross over into, let's just say, our dimension, okay? Remember that when the horses are riding, that one of the horses is the angel of death, and hell follows with him. Revelation 6, 7 and 8. And when he had opened the fourth seal, I heard a voice of the fourth beast say, Come and see. And I looked, and behold, a pale horse, and his name that sat on him was Death, and hell followed with him. And power was given unto him over the fourth part of the earth, to kill with sword, and with hunger, and with death, and with the beasts of the earth. So this is Azrael trying to cross over. He is the fourth horseman. So this is all important stuff to understand. Now we're going to go to the series to see an explanation, or a better explanation, of dust.
Can you please tell me where the physicist is?
Well, I do.
You're a scholar. Can you please tell me about dust?
Dust? What do you mean?
Well, we call it dust in my world. We're not allowed to study dust because the magisterium thinks it's original sin. I need to find out about dust because if I don't find out about dust, it will be for nothing. I need you to tell me about the particles you study.
I don't know what your dust is, but we study something called dark matter.
And what's dark matter?
We don't.
So here the connection is made. Okay? Dust in their world is dark matter in our world. Dust and dark matter is original sin. So this is the sin, and this is what CERN is after. They are bringing more sin into the world, more of the forbidden fruit into the world. This is why they invented the internet. Okay, all this stuff is connected. This is how they built the matrix that now imprisons most of humanity. Dust, dark matter, and sin are all the same things, and they flow from the dark kingdom through our technology, aka our demons, and into us for spiritual possession.
And what's dark matter?
We don't really know. That's sort of the point. It's not visible. It's the matter in between all the known bits of the universe, stars and galaxies. Well, we were trying to find a particular type of particle. One that doesn't respond to light, so it's very difficult to detect. We call them shadow particles.
Shadow particles, the shadow kingdom, the mirror universe, the dark kingdom. Okay, this is where the sin comes from. Now, you'll notice that it goes in slow motion and gets silent from time to time. That's just something I had to do to get around the algorithms.
Electromagnetic field around a detector to try and isolate their signal, and then we fed that through the cave to amplify it. What we discovered was actually pretty extraordinary. I started testing objects.
So she says that they get this dark matter and they amplify it through the cave. So CERN is collecting the dark matter, and in the cave is a quantum computer. So CERN collects the dark matter, okay, the dust, the original sin, and they run it and amplify it in a quantum computer. This is exactly what's happening in our realm. CERN was pulling information from this dark dimension, made the internet. Through the information given that they discovered through CERN, computers were made. And now quantum computers are being made, which are way more powerful than regular computers. So they are amplifying the dust, the forbidden knowledge. This is the introduction of AI. In the next scene, I want you to pay attention to the objects that she's testing this on. First, she tests it on an apple. Go figure, the forbidden fruit symbol. Then she tests it on a rock, which is Christ. Then she tests it on a man-made chess piece, which happens to be a king. A man-made king. So, there was no response from the rock, but on the man-made king, there was a response, because this is dark matter, and it interacts with flesh.
I started testing objects to see if the particles would respond differently. I saw more activity when the items were man-made. The chess piece, my I Ching box in particular. Finally, in a moment of madness, I attached myself, but it was only afterwards, when I was lost in thought, that it happened.
What did you find?
The shadow particles made contact. They seemed to be conscious. I don't know how else to put it.
So only when she was in a meditative state, basically accessing the astral plane, the dark kingdom, was she able to make contact. And she says that the dust is conscious, which we know through CERN and through the studies we've been doing.
I don't know how else to put it. You can't see them unless you expect to. Unless you put your mind in a certain state. You have to hold your mind in a state of expectation without impatience. And then they flock to your thoughts like birds.
That's dust. You were a nun. But you stopped believing and you left. They'd never let you do that.
So she asked Lyra to show her how her device works, and Lyra told her to ask her something she could never know, and the scientist asked her what she was before she became a scientist, and Lyra answers that she was a nun.
You were a nun. But you stopped believing and you left. They'd never let you do that in my world.
How did you do that?
Well, it's like you said. I put my mind in a sort of in-between state, and the meanings just come to me.
And that's how you knew about my research?
It told me you'd tell me about dust. It's the original sin.
Original sin? I became a physicist, so I wouldn't have to think about things like that.
Well, you need to. The magisterium in my world want to destroy it.
Who are the magisterium?
The magisterium play the role of the Freemasons, and I will show you clips of them later on. I got a lot of clips to show you, and I got a lot to tell you, so if this video gets a little lengthy, well, so be it. But I will tell you this, you will not be bored. This information is incredible.
Who are the magisterium?
They control everything. They think dust is evil, but I think what they do is evil.
Sometimes people are afraid of things they don't understand. Dark matter does sound pretty ominous, but in my experience, it's actually quite beautiful.
Can I see your computer cave? Please.
So here it is. This is how they amplify dark matter. This is a quantum computer. This stuff makes so much sense when you put it all together.
You can sit just here. I'm just going to attach these electrodes to your temples. And when I do, just try to clear your mind. You can look at that screen there. I've only managed to do this once with a small response, so let's just see what happens. All set. Just give it a go.
Did I do something wrong?
No. That's the best display I've ever seen. What were you thinking?
I was just asking if it was dust. I think that means yes. But I can get it clearer than that. Look.
They're meditating, clearing their minds. Going into the astral plane. Accessing the forbidden fruit.
What? Those are pictures.
Must be dust. Your particles.
The sun.
It's talking in the Elysiometer's
Angel.
language now, but you could get it fixed into words very easily.
Say that again.
It says you're important. You have something important to do. But you have to make the connection yourself. Chinese box you have upstairs. You'll need it where you're going. Time? Oh no.
So, dust is the original sin. And if you have spiritual eyes to see, then you're going to be understanding what I'm showing you so far. Because this is exactly what we're doing here in our realm. So before we continue further, I would like to use the Bible to show us the introduction of dust and what it does to the body. Genesis 3. Now the serpent was more subtle than any beast of the field which the Lord God had made. And he said unto the woman, Yea, hath God said, Ye shall not eat of every tree of the garden? And the woman said unto the serpent, We may eat of the fruit of the trees of the garden. But of the fruit of the tree which is in the midst of the garden, God hath said, Ye shall not eat of it, neither shall ye touch it, lest ye die. And the serpent said unto the woman, Ye shall not surely die. For God doth know that in the day ye eat thereof, then your eyes shall be opened, and ye shall be as gods, knowing good and evil. So here, Satan is tempting Eve, telling her that when she eats the fruit, that her eyes will be opened, and she'll be as gods, knowing good and evil. So let's think about this and compare it to what's happening in today's society. CERN has introduced the internet, which is sharing the forbidden knowledge all across the earth. Anything anyone wants to know, they can find out on the internet. And now they have these demon devices that are basically connected right to them. They never leave their hands or their bodies. And they can find anything is at the tip of their fingertips all the time. So what is happening to the godless society? They are gaining knowledge, but it's false knowledge. They think they're becoming spiritual, but they are New Age, and they think that they're going to become gods, just like the serpent told them they would. Ye shall be as gods, the serpent said, knowing good and evil. God created us in his image to know good, to be holy. But that when man fell, now they know good and evil. And in order to get back to good, we need Jesus. This is also why people think they can live forever through technology. Ye shall not surely die. Okay, Satan's been telling this lie forever. Matthew 6, 22 and 23. The light of the body is the eye. If thine eye be single, thy whole body shall be full of light. But if thine eye be evil, thy whole body shall be full of darkness. If therefore the light that is in thee be darkness, how great is that darkness? So here you're seeing that Jesus is saying, that the light of the body is the eye. This is your pineal gland. If therefore your eye is single, then your whole body shall be full of light. But since Eve and Adam ate the forbidden fruit, they knew good and evil. Now you have the ability to let evil in. Okay, now Lucifer means light bearer. So he comes as an angel of light. But his light is darkness. This is why the Masons use a chessboard as symbolism, black and white, two sides of the same board. Two opponents on the same board, on the same team. Light and dark, but the light is false light. Okay, that's the internet, the matrix, the wisdom of the world, which the Bible tells us that God makes foolish the wisdom of the world. The Bible tells us that professing themselves to be wise, they became fools. Okay, this is what the wisdom of the world does for us. It puts us in darkness, in false light. This is why we need our eye to be single and focused on Jesus and not the world. So this is dust. Dust is the darkness. Okay, we are made up of matter and antimatter. We are made up of wheat and tares. Okay, what CERN is doing is bringing antimatter into our realm, which is matter from the dark kingdom. It's antimatter, it's darkness, it's evil, it's original sin. And when they bring it into this world, they amplify it. And it hits more people and sucks more people deeper into the matrix, giving them false light, making them feel wise as they become fools. I hope you guys are picking up what I'm putting down here. Proverbs 30:11-13. There is a generation that curseth their father, and doth not bless their mother. Okay, that's this generation. There's a generation that are pure in their own eyes, and yet is not washed from their filthiness. So this is what this forbidden knowledge does to people. It makes them think that they are gods, that they are good, that they're going to ascend. Okay? This is the generation that are pure in their own eyes, but yet is not washed from their filthiness through the blood of Christ. There is a generation, oh how lofty are their eyes, and their eyelids are lifted up. There is a generation whose teeth are as swords, and their jaw teeth as knives, to devour the poor from off the earth, and the needy from among men. This is talking about today's generation. This is what the knowledge of good and evil does to humanity. This is why that tree was forbidden, because it corrupts. This is why they invented the internet. This is why they invented Google. This is why CERN keeps harnessing more forbidden knowledge from the dark realm and tries to bring dark matter into this world. Because the more dark matter there is, the more people will be brought into sinful and godless lifestyles. So, for this next clip, I want you guys to look at this woman, use your spiritual eyes, and see what you can notice about her.
No one could ever really truly understand me. Except, of course, my deep best if we were free to do as we please.
This is our Lyra Balakwa. Lyra, this is Mrs. Coulter.
Do you know I've met Lord Asriel? We discussed the political structure of the Ice Bears of Svalbard.
I've seen an ice bear.
King Ragnar is desperate to have a demon. Bears don't have them, you see, and he likes to think of himself as a person, and he will stop at nothing to get one.
So, what did you notice about this woman? Did you notice? Now, she says that she knows Lord Asriel, but I'm going to just give you some spoiler alerts. Lord Asriel, the angel of death, is not Lyra's uncle. He is her father. And this woman is her mother. So you have an angel and a woman who have this child with red hair. This is the spiritual interpretation of what's going on here. So let me show you what I was talking about. If you look at her hair, you will see that there are 2 6s on this side and 1 6 on this side. 3 6s in her hair. Let me show you again real quick.
Do you know I've met Lord Asriel?
There's
It was
2
at the
of
Royal
them.
Arctic Institute.
See them?
We
6,
discussed
6,
the political
and
structure of the
6.
ice bears of Svalbard.
You've seen an ice bear?
Now, in this scene, this is the Freemasons, the magistrate, it's called, their organization. You can see the black and white chessboard on the floor. You will also notice that their demons, their spirit animals, are owls and serpents, which in the Bible, the screech owl is Lilith, demon of the night, and we all know who the serpent is.
Scholars still refuse to hand over the last alethiometer. If he succeeds in proving the existence of these other worlds, will always be free thinkers, and unless we deal with the root of the problem. That is why Mrs. Coulter's work is so important.
The doctors at Bolvanger are close to perfecting the inoculation against the effects of dust.
If we can protect our children from the corrupting influence of dust, then we will nurture a generation at peace with itself. One that will never question our authority again.
So, a little further in, I will discuss why they want to cut off dust since they're the evil ones. Right? Because you would think that the evil Freemasons want the children to be influenced by the original sin by dust. But if children are cut off from dust, then they lose their free will. They lose their ability to have knowledge and to think, and they will just be obedient to the Masonic order or the magistrate.
Why are we here? Did you see her demon? He went all sharp when you mentioned dust. And what does she keep in that room?
I should pause this and add something in. So children get kidnapped all the time by people who they call the gobblers. Children start missing from all over the cities and all over the place, and they are being taken. So I just wanted to throw that in there because I haven't mentioned it and I didn't have any parts of that in there, but it's going to come up, so I wanted you to know what they're talking about.
Let's go find out. Maybe this isn't such a good idea.
Notice the Masonic pillars in this artwork with this person holding this blue jar. Then you will see that she's holding 2 small children in her hands. Okay, this is what the rich and powerful do. I know you guys know what I'm talking about. I know what this jar is filled with that they get from the children. Pretty crazy stuff in this movie, but let's continue.
Over here. Look. Look at it.
Intercision. What does it mean, Pan? General Oblation Board.
Gobblers.
G.O.B. Pan, it's her. She's running the gobblers.
Notice her demon's name is Pan.
How'd you come by something like that? I do beg pardon. Lee Scoresby. So gal is Hester.
I'm Lyra. This is Pam.
Mighty pleased, Miss Lyra. A friend of mine got himself in a fix, so I come to see what I can do about it. Miss Lyra, I'd like to give you a word of advice, though you ain't asked for none. I was on the kind of scout reckon you're on. I'd hire myself an aeronaut and an armored bear.
An armored bear?
Yorick Bernisson's his name. Good one to have on your side in a scrap. Not that you're looking for that.
So, here is this slick-tongued dude talking this girl into going and trying to hire on Yorick Bernison, an armored bear. Now, this character, the armored bear, is Lucifer. And if you use your spiritual eyes to watch the next scenes, then you will see it for yourself.
Yorick Bernison, may I speak to you?
What?
I thought bears were good at that. And there's all this metal around.
Worthless!
My armor is made of sky iron, from the falling stars that land in Svalbard.
His armor is made of fallen stars, okay? Stars are angels.
A bear's armor is his soul.
It must have been terrible to lose your arm.
It was no less than I deserved. I was sent away from Svalbard because I was unworthy.
Now, I'm going to talk over the movie, but pay attention to the symbols that come up on the compass. Alpha and Omega, dragon, the beehive.
He was a prince. He would have been a king if the other bear hadn't defeated him. He lost everything. Yorick Bernison, I know where your armor is. They tricked you out of it.
Been hired on by these gentlemen of the Egyptian persuasion. You figuring on joining this turkey shoot?
Yes, I have a contract with the child.
That's some pretty fast work, Miss Lyra.
All right, there you heard it. He is in exile because he took on the power of the Bear Kingdom, which I told you is the Kingdom of the North. The Kingdom of God is represented as the Kingdom of the North. So, this is the spiritual interpretation of this story. And we will get to see more, but you can see that he was an outcast, exiled. His armor was taken, and he was left to live with man. So, in this next scene, we have the magistrate, and I want to show you their symbols. Alright, now I've put the sigil of Lucifer next to the magistrate symbolism, okay? I want you to look at this symbol, and if you would take these lines that come out the side here and put them out at the edges so that it would make an M, right? If you put it out here, it would go like this, and then instead of stopping in this diamond, have it run through and curl up. You will see that if you straighten these lines down, this is the exact same symbol with the lines in different places. This is spirituality. This is hidden in plain sight. This is the sigil of Lucifer. I hope you can see what I'm saying. Like, these two lines are the sides of the M, which leaves the diamond coming down through. You can see there's a diamond here, and there's a diamond here. You can see that if the lines went through and curled up, that this would become a V, and these lines would be curled, and then this line is here. Can you see it? I hope so. So that's the magistrate, the Illuminati, the Freemasons, whatever you want to call them. The powers that control the world, that work for Lucifer.
Witches, if they are flying to the aid of your enemies, you should all be afraid. You should all be afraid.
Are you afraid?
No, no, no. When I am,
I will master my fear. I will master my fear.
So I put this scene in there because Lucifer says that he masters his fear. He's not afraid. So he's teaching the little girl to master her fear. Not to fear the Lord, but to master her fear, so that she can go around in the world as she wishes.
Lyra, no. Please don't.
Hush, Pan.
I'm afraid.
I've got to master our fear.
So there you go, see? She was led by Lucifer, influence, to master her fear. Do you know why they're called the Freemasons? Do you know what they're free of? They are free of the fear of God. That is why they are called the Freemasons, free from the fear of the Lord.
Our greetings to you, great king.
What have you to do with Yorick Bernison?
I am Yorick Bernison's demon.
How has he exiled the unworthy obtained a demon?
Yorick Bernison was the first bear to get a demon, but it should have been you.
So here this girl remembered what her mother had told her about the Bear King, who is supposed to be God, which they portray in an evil and dark manner. Because remember, the Bear Kingdom, the kingdom of the north, this is God's kingdom, that Lucifer was banned from. He's in exile. So she had told him that she was Yorick's demon, because she knew that he wanted a demon. And so she's trying to set up a rematch between Lucifer and God. The spiritual implications of this movie are absolutely insane. And without the Holy Spirit, you'll never see it.
Terrible thing.
What terrible thing?
Told the king I was your demon, and that he must fight you. If not, they would never let you fight.
Lyra Belacqua. I shall call you Lyra Silvertongue. To fight him is all I want, little demon.
Fight well, Yorick, my dear. You're the real king, and he ain't nothing.
If I'm killed, Scoresby will find you.
See how he calls her little demon? Nephilim. Redhead. I'm not saying that every redhead is a Nephilim, but I am saying that most Nephilim are referred to as redheads.
Is that all? Whimpering cub? Is that all? Ha! Is that all?
Yes! That is all. As who is your king?
So obviously this is what Lucifer wishes would happen, that he could return to heaven and defeat God. Okay, that's what his dream is, but that's never going to happen. So that's why it's in the movies. But of course, without eyes to see, this is just a bunch of bears fighting.
Do you know what they do to the kids here? They say they're going to give us this operation right, and we won't have to worry about dust. Once they call a kid in, you'll never see them. They took Billy Costa away last week. Don't worry. I've got a plan, right? Tell the kids to have their warm clothes ready. I need to be alone someplace.
So now she's where the children who get kidnapped are, because they bring them to perform these tests on them. They're trying to sever their demons while they are young, so that when they grow up, they will obey the magistrate, man, and not God. Because when they cut the cords, there is no more connection to God or dust. It's a complete sever, which makes them completely obedient to man.
You can't! Oh, get off me! Not allowed.
The chamber.
Let me go! Yuri Banderson's gonna rip your guts out!
Notice they put her in a black box, just like the Kaaba. This is the cube, the Tesseract, for spiritual possession and control.
It's only a little cut. You'll never keep us apart. No, stop! Lyra! You can't! They did it to Billy.
They cut their demons away.
Why are they doing that?
I know it's difficult to understand, but it's for their own good. Just a little cut. Long, long time ago, our ancestors made a terrible mistake. They disobeyed the authority, and that is what made dust come into the world.
This is one thing I did not understand in the movie. It was very confusing because they refer to the authority, which is obviously God. But in this series, it's not God. And we'll get into that later. But this is one of the things that the series opened up that the movie didn't make clear.
And ever since we've been sick with dust. You see, dust doesn't settle on innocent children.
So this is just an addition pause to break up the movie for the algorithm.
It's later, dust begins to swarm all around us, trying to work its mischief. Little cut and gone forever. Intercision isn't perfect yet, and you're not just anyone, Lyra.
No! You can't be!
Yes, Lyra, you're mine.
I want you to realize that they call the intercision the cutting the kid off from their spirit. They call it the inoculation. That's exactly what they call a vaccine, an inoculation, which will cut you off from the Lord. This is what the Bible speaks about when it says that they will cut their cords asunder and cast them away from us. This is what it's referring to, changing your DNA so that you're no longer made in the image of God, cutting you off from being saved, unless, of course, you repent and mean it. And we will see more of that in the rest of the series. But I have one last scene from the movie, and then we'll finish up the series.
There's a prophecy about that child, Mr. Scoresby. She will decide the war which is to come.
I ain't heard rumor of any war.
You will. It is your war too.
What would the quarrel be about?
Nothing less than free will. The Magisterium not only seeks to control everyone in this world, they've been unable to extend their power until now. If Azrael finds a way to travel between worlds, nothing will stop them from trying to take over. Nothing but us. And that child.
So that is how the movie ended. So you're left hanging on a bunch of stuff. Does Azrael make it into the other world? And in the next scene, you're going to see this little boy who goes to find Azrael with Lyra. Of course, they're going to be two different characters because it's a series and not the movie. But you'll see this boy will be in the very first scene that I show you coming up. Alright, so this is her friend here who's up on the mountain up in the north with Lyra's dad, Lord Azrael. And Lyra is on her way up the mountain with Yorick, aka Lucifer.
Isn't Lyra down there? I think we should go and find her.
Come here!
No! What are you doing?
Get on.
No! Lord Azrael! Just stop! No! No!
he just put that kid into one of those intercision machines that cuts off the kid from their spirit, because he realized that when you cut a kid off from their spirit, that sends out a giant energy burst. This might explain why so many kids end up missing, and CERN is running so powerful to get into the next dimension. Okay, you have to get into the spiritual way of thinking. Once we think we know everything, then things become outside of the realm of possibility. But we don't know what CERN is doing or how they're doing it. We just know what they're doing is evil. And that this stuff is hidden in the movies because they have to tell us what they're up to. So he's going to use this machine to try and create an energy burst to open a portal to the other dimension.
That this is happening to you. But in war, there are casualties. This is a war, one that will free humanity forever.
Azrael's put Roger and Salcilia in a cage. They look like the ones at Bolvanga. Please don't do this! Nothing we can do. Roger, I can't get out! What's gonna happen to us? No, no!
So what you're watching is a ritual child. You know the next word. Notice it was all colors that were coming down. All the rays of the light, the 7 rays, the rainbow bridge to open a portal to the other dimensions.
If you've come to stop me, you're too late.
Too late to stop the experiment, yes, but not too late to stop you.
Oh, you don't understand. The Magisterium have no power anymore. Not once the world sees the possibility of all this. It is the end of the Magisterium. After hundreds of years. No more oppression. No more abuse. No more darkness. Suppression of knowledge. You see that light? That is the sun of another world. Feel the warmth of it on your face.
It's extraordinary.
The light is the sun of another world. Okay? Tammuz, the son of Nimrod, the false Christ, the son of another world. You get it?
Marisa, come with me. Work with me. Help me fight this war and take on the authority. Help me create a new Republic of Heaven. What better place to make a new start?
A new start?
You and I, together, we could take this universe apart and put it
So
back.
he wants to go to heaven and fight the authority and make a new world in his image, the Ouroboros. He wants to destroy what's there and create something new out of it. And the whole black and white scheme, the whole authority scheme, this is all going to make sense as soon as you find out what wasn't in the movie.
The Magisterium created a bomb to target our child using her DNA. We attempted to disable it. Lord Roke died trying.
You mustn't blame yourself. You clearly...
They had enabled a bomb to attack their child by DNA. I will restart it. But this is what the inoculation, the medicine that they're trying to get into everybody does. It's a DNA bomb. It destroys the image of God in people and creates people in the image of the beast.
The Magisterium created a bomb to target our child using her DNA. We attempted to disable it. Lord Roke died trying.
You mustn't blame yourself. You clearly...
Oh, believe me, I'm not blaming myself. I know that technology. I designed it. I stopped it from detonating. But a bolt of light struck the Intercision chamber and triggered the release, sending the bomb straight to Lyra. Angelic light.
I saw Satan as lightning.
But a bolt of light struck the Intercision chamber and triggered the release, sending the bomb straight to Lyra. Angelic light.
How much more will we need?
Of what?
This.
So here he's setting up an army, and I want to share something with you besides the information that they're speaking. I want to show you something that you may have seen in other places and you can keep an eye out for in the future.
How much more will we need?
Of what?
This. Soldiers. Witches.
It's the authority's strength that lies in numbers. Sheer wealth of people willing to defend his mysticism and dogma. We just need enough to provoke him.
So all this is just a provocation?
Come, you'll see.
See all the holes in the side of this fortress?
Find me the latest plans for the Intention craft.
How do you know this one won't
See
kill
how
you?
they come through as light? This is what's called the 1,000 points of light. Okay, I don't know if you've ever heard of it, but this is what this represents. All these holes in this place are letting in 1,000 points of light. So let me show you what that is. The phrase 1,000 points of light was popularized by U.S. President George Bush and later formed the name of a private nonprofit organization launched by Bush to support volunteerism. Okay? The first known instance of the phrase 1,000 points of light appears in Arthur C. Clarke's short story Rescue Party. One entire wall of the control room was taken up by the screen, a great black rectangle that gave an impression of almost infinite depth. Okay, this is talking about a flat screen TV, you guys. Tell me this. If smart TVs and flat panel TV screens were not from the Dark Kingdom, how could this person in 1946 have written about these devices, knowing they were going to brainwash people, when TVs didn't even enter the household until after World War II? 3 of Rugon's slender control tentacles, useless for heavy work but incredibly swift at all manipulation, flickered over the selector dials and the screen lit up with 1,000 points of light. This is about spiritual possession. It was later found in William S. Burroughs Lee's journals. The sky over Vienna was light, hard, china blue, and a cold spring wind whipped Martin's loose gabardine topcoat around his thin body. He felt the ache of desire in his loins like a toothache when the pain is light and different from any other pain. He turned a corner and Danube stabbed his eye with 1,000 points of light, and he felt a force of wind and had to lean forward to maintain balance. So 1,000 points of light going through into his eye. Spiritual possession. Something very close to the phrase 1,000 points of light also appeared in chapter 8. Okay, the portal. The fight at the lamppost of C.S. Lewis's The Magician's Nephew in 1955. One moment there had been nothing but darkness. Next moment 1,000 points of light leapt out. Single stars, constellations and planets brighter and bigger than any in our world. So, spiritual possession. Okay, that's what this is all about. I hope you guys can see this. But I've seen this in music videos and other places, so I just wanted to point this out because this is a good thing to know and to keep an eye out for, because this is what it means. I'm going to show you a clip from a video, without any sound of course, because we don't want the possession that goes with it, but I wanted to show you this 1,000 points of light somewhere else. So I'm just going to add in some happy music while we view this 1,000 points of light in this video. This is a band called Korn, and the song is called Freak on a Leash. That's because they are freaks on Satan's leash. The term was used by George H.W. Bush in his speech accepting the presidential nomination at the 1988 Republican National Convention in New Orleans, written for Bush by Peggy Noonan and Craig Smith. Bush reprised the phrase near the end of his speech, affirming that he would keep America moving forward, always forward, for a better America, for an endless enduring dream, and 1,000 points of light, putting America under possession. All right, and he repeated this phrase in his inaugural address on January 20th, 89. This is all about spiritual possession, darkness. Let's continue.
Find me the latest plans for the Intention craft.
How do you know this one won't kill you?
It will take more than a little crash. You asked how many soldiers we were going to need. The truth is, I don't know. But the key to provoking the authority, it may well lie in dust.
I deal in strategy.
We have to force the authority to show his face. Then we're going to need all the fighters we can get our hands on.
So this is all about taking on the authority. He's building an army of men and fallen angels to fight against the authority.
You dismiss Lyra too easily. You know what the Magisterium believe about her.
According to the authority, Eve was the mother of creation. She is not Eve. She's a little girl.
She must have some information they need.
So the reason Lyra is so important is because they think Lyra is the new Eve. Coming back around again, the Ouroboros, the serpent eating its tail. Now, in this scene, there were two angels fighting. One that's with man, and one that's with the quote-unquote authority. So, the one that's with man has brought a message. Listen closely.
Right, give me your message.
We found the boy. The bearer.
What boy? What does he bear?
He said, the God Killer, the only weapon that will destroy him.
Destroy who?
The authority.
What?
And his regent, my brother Enoch. And his regent, my brother Enoch.
The authority has a regent.
Baruch, how? Who did this?
An angel.
We've already encountered.
So he said that his brother Enoch is the authority's regent. Okay, that means he speaks for the authority. Let me show you what regent is. Regent in a monarchy, a regent is a person appointed to govern the states because the monarch is minor, absent, or incapacitated or unable to discharge the powers and duties of the monarchy, or the throne is vacant. Okay, so as I showed you in the video, Yeshua is Metatron. You will know that they think that Metatron used to be a man called Enoch. Enoch the evil from Cain's side, from the line of Cain, not Noah's great-great-grandfather Enoch. Okay, this is where the books of Enoch 2 and 3 come from. So Metatron, Yeshua, the false Christ, is pretending to be the regent, a position held by Jesus the Christ. So you can see here that Metatron is the Antichrist. This is why the movie and a lot of things they were saying didn't make any sense. Because if the dust was flowing from the kingdom of heaven, why is it original sin coming down from heaven? That doesn't make any sense. All good things come from heaven, not evil things. But because it's the Freemasons, it's the battle between the false light and the darkness. It's like the left Democrats and the right Republicans. Both evil, taking you to the same place, but one plays the good role and the other plays the bad role. But they're both taking you to destruction. This is what's happening in this. This is the black and white on the Freemasons' chessboard.
This chamber, I created it for experimenting on dust.
Now in this scene, the other angel who fell with Baruch, this angel is from Enoch's, aka Evil Enoch's, aka Metatron's false kingdom.
This chamber, I created it for experimenting on dust.
As such, it's lined with adamantine, properties of which include preventing dust from escaping. Now you,
as well as my demon, are entirely made of dust. So you might find yourself locked in here for eternity.
I am eternal. I have no concept of time.
Good for you. You'll be comfortable. I'm going to begin now. I'm going to ask you some questions.
What's the authority so afraid of that he sent one angel to attack another?
They want to talk. Perhaps you're afraid of revealing that the authority no longer rules in the kingdom of heaven, and that he has for some reason appointed a regent. Quite all right, I already know. What's wrong with him that he won't rule? Or is it that he can't? If he... Now we're getting somewhere.
Do you know what else is interesting? Dust.
So, the authority no longer rules in heaven. Their words, not mine. Which I guess he could be referring to God. And then because Metatron is the false Christ, Yeshua, that he is posing as the regent. This is why people are being led astray.
Dust. Fascinating stuff. Spent most of my adult life trying to understand it. I once killed an innocent young boy in order to harness it.
But no one before this moment has ever tried to weaponize it.
Weaponizing dust. This is exactly what CERN is doing. They're harnessing dust from the Dark Kingdom. They're amplifying it and possessing the world with the darkness and the demons that they're bringing over.
Enoch, brother of Baruch, how did he become regent?
Do not dare use that name. He is Metatron.
What does he want?
The end of this!
Dust is not for you to understand. Conscious beings have become dangerously independent until they understand complete obedience, and with it.
So Enoch, or Metatron, wants to control the free will of humanity. I am interrupting this part and adding this narration because I keep getting nailed by the algorithm, so I have to do some edits.
We will bring an end to the freedom of thought and will control dust once and for all.
Whoops, I accidentally told you what was happening in the next part of the clip in my last narration, that they were going to try to put an end to free will. My bad. But now you know.
Where do I find him?
The kingdom of heaven is not yours to enter.
So this Metatron will require a little more coaxing. Then, will his kingdom come?
So, he said that he's trying to do away with this free will, free thought, to bring everyone under obedience. Okay, that is the plan of the enemy. All right here for you in this series and movie. And it's all happening because people's demons, they are bringing with them everywhere they go on the outside of their body. They're called smartphones. So now the war has begun, and the kingdom of Metatron has come down to Earth to fight against Azrael.
Show yourself to me.
You intrigue me.
Notice the upside down cross. Okay, you can't make this stuff up. This is like right in your face.
You are unusual. You control those specters as if they're your playthings. Join me.
Anyway, he wants this girl to join him. Of course, that's what Satan wants, right? He wants everybody to join him to fight against God. So what you're watching here is a fight between the false light and the darkness. And no matter which team you're fighting for, you're gonna lose. Because there's only one true kingdom of God. And you only get there through Jesus.
Great Regent, I wish to be of service to you.
You wish to serve no one but yourself. You are a cesspit of moral filth. Do not lie to me.
We only seek what we are denied. Who were you before you had power? Did you not crave it too?
I was a man. Ruthless, but fallible. Not unlike yourself.
They say spirit envies flesh.
Why would I envy weakness? Flesh is vulnerable. Its power is crude.
Flesh has its pleasure.
You do this very well, don't you? No wonder the mortal men are convinced. Why did you call to me? Lie to me again, and I would extinguish your life.
I was curious. I wanted to meet you.
I'm here!
The arrogance of man. Do you think you can fight nature itself?
Why don't you come down here and prove me wrong?
The unequaled Lord Asriel, who wages war on the heavens but dares not confront his own self. Do you have no words of supplication for your creator before your death?
You're not the creator. You're not even the authority. You're just hiding behind him like you're hiding behind me now.
I am in all things. What I am is far beyond your comprehension.
No, it's not. You're an angel. Before that, you're a man named Enoch. Either way, you're just a person.
So, here they're carrying on the Metatron myth, the false Christ, Yeshua, saying that men can become angels. Okay, this is one of the greatest lies ever told. Remember in Genesis 3, it said, "Your eyes shall be opened, and you shall be as gods." Well, who are the gods of this world? They are the fallen angels. So this lie is perpetuated to get mankind to follow after them with the false promise that they will become gods, when they're just going to become damned and burn eternally in the pit of hell. Remember, Satan doesn't have to get you to believe in him. He just has to get you to not believe in the one true God and his son, Jesus. He doesn't care if you believe in Buddha, the Hindu gods, Vishnu. It doesn't matter to Satan. All that matters to him is that you believe in anybody but Jesus. Because all those other gods will take you to the pit.
In this world.
So this kid that's with Lyra has this knife. That's what the angel was talking about, the God killer. It can cut into realms. It cuts through the veil. So I guess in a sense that could be Christ, because it cuts through the veil and it will kill these gods who call themselves gods but are no more than fallen angels. The Bible does tell us that Jesus is the truth, and the truth is a sharp, two-edged sword.
The knife bearer is in this world. He is with your daughter.
So what you're seeing right here is the same technology that he had made that chamber the angel was in. This is Intercision. This is what cut the demons off from the children, the same technology. And it is over an abyss that opened up when the kingdom came down. And so they filled the abyss with this technology to suck in the kingdom when it came down. So that's what you're watching fire up here. See that? That's Metatron's cube. That is the prison of the enemy, falling from the false kingdom. So Metatron, the enemy, has fallen into the abyss. Right? He's imprisoned for 1,000 years. That was his cube falling to the earth, his prison. And remember, 1,000 years is but a day. So this is the next day.
Do you feel that?
They see the cube.
There's someone in there.
I tried to cut them free.
So you see this old angel. Looks to be about 1,000 years old. And they just opened up the cube, the prison of the enemy. And he turned to dust and was freed, because after the 1,000 years he must be loosed for a short time.
Can we go now? I want to see Pan.
So I hope I laid this out for you in a way that was understandable. I share a lot more information than I had started with, but I feel like that's what the Lord wanted me to do, was expose all these things. But the most important thing to take out of this is the fact that these demons are the cell phones, the technology. And if we look, we can see that this movie came out in 2007, okay? Smartphones didn't come out till 2010. This movie came out and warned us about the demons that will be on the outside of our bodies in the future. But much like the enemy always does, he hides this information in tricky and subtle ways, as the Bible says. The serpent was the most subtle of all the creatures that God created. Take that into consideration. Like, these are all warnings. Long before smartphones came out, the Matrix came out. Smartphones and internet are what put us in the Matrix. Okay, these are all warning films. But if you can't see, if you don't have Christ, then you can't see through the veil. You can't see the truth. And the truth is that people's demons are with them all the time. We take them with us everywhere. They give us forbidden knowledge. They make us feel wise when we are fools. They make us think that we're going to become gods. And I say us, I mean humanity, not us who follow Christ. This is the problem. These screens are spiritual warfare. This technology is not magic. It's demonology. It's spiritual wickedness That's how this information is spread. That's what the internet is. It's a net that's been cast over us and trapped us all inside these little screens. This is the fate of humanity right now. Like, I try to stay off of my phone as much as possible, and I sure don't have 5G, nor will I ever. When my phone stops working, then I'm done using a phone. I'll go back to the landline or mailing letters. So I hope that you saw what I saw, because this is unbelievable. And this is why I couldn't make the video when I took the notes, because I had to make all those other videos first. I had to understand that demons were in the technology. I had to understand that the Nephilim DNA, I had to understand all of it. I had to understand about the medicine, the inoculation, the cutting people off from their spirit, from the Lord. And it wasn't till all those things became clear to me that the Lord had me make this video. So I know I jumped around a lot. It was a little confusing trying to put the movie and the series together. So I hope it wasn't confusing, and I hope I didn't ramble on or screw up too much, because it was confusing for me as well to try and hop back and forth. So I hope I did this video justice, and I hope that it edifies you and that you see the spiritual warfare that is taking place. And this is why, if you do not have spiritual eyes, or you are not called to decode movies and music and things like I'm doing, then you would be best off to just stay away from them. Stay away from the movies. Stay away from secular music, because this is the stuff that Satan brings people in with. This is the path to destruction. Because when we watch these things, let me give you an example. Because when you watch The Matrix, and you said, oh, this movie is awesome, and you recommend it to your friends, and they're like, oh, this movie is awesome, you are giving permission and you are okay to the spiritual realm for you to be put inside the Matrix without even knowing it. And this is the problem when you can't see these things, that if you like it, then it can be done to you, because you've been warned. And that is what God requires of Satan, that he warn you. And if you are warned and do it anyways, then it's on you. This is why it's so important to have spiritual discernment through the Lord Jesus Christ and the Holy Spirit, so that we can see these things, get the warning, and take heed. I pray you receive this message with open ears and open eyes. Until next time, take care.